Welcome back, everybody, to episode 85 of the Lookout Podcast. Of course, my name is Meelz, and I am here with the Platinum Chanel boy himself, Jeff.
What is up,
bro?
Man? What's up, dude?
I don't know.
Well, we're in the midst of like a lot of different anime. A lot of cool things are happening within the seasons we're in, so that's fun.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of things are just going down. A lot of stuff. A lot of just content in general. I'm really enjoying manga right now. Yeah. I like that new Dragon Ball chapter. I'm not sure if you got to read it, but I really did like it.
I have not. I've seen some things on my timeline that are interesting.
Yeah. Listen, anytime they include, I don't want to spoil it for you, but there's a new set of Dragon Balls. So
yeah, I saw something of that nature. I saw some Beerus stuff too, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so that type of stuff was fun. What else am I capturing? I mean, all this stuff you'll hear on the Big Eyes podcast, I'm assuming this week. That new chapter, My Hero, is pretty good. A lot of different stuff. Just Kaiju number 8, a whole bunch of other stuff with Manga Talk. So definitely tune into the Big Eyes podcast, and you'll be able to hear all of that great stuff because, absolutely. Wow. Yeah,
it's a lot going on right now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so boom. Were you able to tune in any part of it to the Crunchyroll Awards last Friday?
No, I kept up with it from the timeline, so I kind of know what happened, but no, I didn't like lock into it.
That's typically how I absorb award shows anyway.
I know, right? That's where we are now. It's so funny, but yeah, no, I kept up with it, man. Everything kind of happened how I anticipated, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean,
you happy for Overhaul and Deku?
Am I happy for Overhaul and Deku? I think. Let me see what else is in that category. So Overhaul and Deku won Best Fight Scene.
Yeah,
I would say duh because it broke the internet. To be honest with you,
that's fair. That's fair. It's a big moment.
But also what was included was Broccoli versus Dark God Vecta from Sword Art Online. Didn't see that. Brawler versus Master, Akudama Drive, didn't see that. Jin Mori versus Han Dewai, God of High School, didn't see that. Jin Mori versus Jago Tech, God of High School, didn't see that.
So you already knew. You were like, oh, this is my clear answer.
Well, and the last one was Satoru Gojo versus Ryomen Sukuna.
I mean, if there's a backup, yeah, it's on there for sure. But
so to me, it was absolutely down to those two.
yeah, no, for sure. The Overhaul Deku, I think that was just it was too big of a moment to kind of pass up on and not give the award to it because it closed everything out. It was just really nice.
Well, which the great thing about this is that starting next week, we're going to be covering that part of My Hero Academia. So let's just kind of break the news now. So in response to My Hero Academia, which is now premiering at the end of the month, season 5 is premiering at the end of this month, which has got me so excited because season 5 is such a pivotal season in this series. It really sparks like a lot. To me, this is really truly like, it sparks the second half of My Hero Academia. I can't
series
even
overall
call it properly. Yeah, I can't even properly call it a second half because I don't actually know where it's going or when it's ending.
Yeah. I feel like they're in it for the long run though.
Yeah,
as a fan,
feels like a drastic shift.
Yeah, like I know you, like My Hero is pretty hardcore for you, and I would be really happy as far as where the whole series is headed if you're like a hardcore fan, because I feel like they're not stopping anywhere soon. I really don't. I think it's like a really, really long haul of an anime manga.
Interesting.
I do.
I do. The creator says he does want to end it eventually. End it soon. Not like eventually, because eventually is like One Piece. It's like one day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When is eventually
really? I think he's gonna end it sooner than later. I think considering a lot of great anime, a lot of great just like stories have kind of ended on a really good note. I don't think this is a series.
Feeling the pressure?
Yeah, I don't think. Well, that too, but I don't think My Hero Academia is that series where you can just kind of like mindlessly tell these stories, kind of like One Piece does. No offense to One Piece, but like they do kind of do that.
That was a little shot.
New characters, new islands.
Jamal's
don't get me wrong.
Pause the show when he hears that. You hear you say that.
I feel like a lot of people will, but I think just not to say that they can't, because I do think from what I've watched of One Piece thus far, it's like, okay, it's a great story. It's actually, repaying you for watching some stuff, all this other stuff like that. I get
Still
it. The
a lot.
world is like growing. It's expansive. It's
Still
a lot.
a lot.
I get it.
Still a lot.
But it's a lot. And I don't even think it meant to be this long, but it is this long. But since that's coming at the end of the month, My Hero Academia Season 5, we will be revisiting, so at least close up the chapter on Season 4. So we at least have recapped it. So we have it for y'all to recap. So we're going to be going over that for the month of March. So you can definitely tune into that. Other amazing things from the Crunchyroll Awards. Jujutsu Kaisen took home Anime of the Year.
Yeah. It's really, really happy about that.
I mean, well deserved. I mean, quite honestly. I mean...
like Mappa is really cleaning this shit up. I know, right? But it's just crazy. I mean, I think My Hero stuff, the fan base it's on a different level. Not saying that it's better or worse than any other anime. It's just like there's just some times where the fan base overpowers the actual brand and it pushes it further. So I can understand why they ran home with so many awards on our awards.
Right.
Because, we let the fans vote. Plain and simple. But Jujutsu winning Anime of the Year, yeah, you're absolutely right, dude. I mean, it is that. So I mean, I completely understand and completely deserving. They went all out. It's still going.
Sukuna won Best Antagonist.
He did win Best Antagonist.
Hinata from Haikyuu won Best Boy. Kaguya Shiniyama from Kaguya-sama Love is War won Best Girl. Let's see what else. Lost in Paradise by Ali and Aklo for Jujutsu Kaisen won Best Ending Sequence. Very much so. Fair. Our boy Zeno Robinson took home Best English Voice Actor for Hawks in My Hero Academia.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Amazing.
And now he's voicing the voice of Anya.
Anya
Capone.
It's just amazing, dude. How's this happen?
I don't even say what are the odds, because
I know I can't say what are the odds because he does deserve it, but it's wild, man. Truly, like
he's just, what's crazy is seeing I know what happens to Anya. I mean, not that anything crazy happens to him in Attack on Titan, but I know what happens to him, and I'm like, wow, this kind of character is kind of like right up his alley. So it'll be interesting. I mean, if you tuned into the English dub on Toonami, which they've been like pumping out,
they are on point, right? Isn't that wild?
2-3 weeks gap between both.
They're not playing no games.
Nah, not at all. But if you listen to the English dub, he was definitely there, and I was like, oh, okay, I recognize that voice, and then sure enough, he announced it, and sure enough, it was great. A lot of other stuff, took home stuff at the Crunchyroll Awards. It's making me want to tune in to like a couple of these other things, just so we have some other stuff.
I feel like it is time. I think we do get caught up with like, what do you want to call it? Like the big three, the big five.
But there are the big three. People are apparently very sensitive about
very sensitive, right? But no, I'm saying there are definitely a lot of other things to check out. It's just these ones that are on top are just so dominating. Like they're just so good that we tend to kind of keep the focus on them. But yeah, there's still time.
Absolutely. So of course you can always tune into Crunchyroll Awards. I think it's on their YouTube. I mean, we're not being paid by them, but we understand what it means for like the culture and stuff like that, and everyone who kind of voted and everyone who's a part of it. A lot of I don't want to say peers, but a lot of people that is very accessible online were a part of the voting thing. A lot of black voices, black women, a lot of all things. So shout out to Crunchyroll for doing the damn thing. You're also bought by Sony, so
that's what's up.
We'll see what happens after that. I'm trying to think if there are any other major news this week that happened in the anime world. Wait, I know. Go ahead.
What were you about to say?
No, I was about to say Viz Media just dropped like 8 million things.
Okay, yeah, Viz Media did go pretty hard the other day. There was also a rumor about Hunter x Hunter returning, and it wasn't that. So yeah, that's what I'm here to say.
Why do they keep playing with you?
Yeah, I don't know why they keep playing with me, bro. Like I'm actually extremely tired of it. So the original voice actors are the original voice actors for Gon is really close to the original voice actors for Killua. And
I would hope so.
Right. And she had posted this post on her Twitter about getting back to the beginning and like working on something important. And she put like a pixelated, artwork of whatever it is. You couldn't really tell, but people, Twitter, they could tell that Killua was in the picture. So people were thinking, oh, they're about to announce the return of whatever the case may be. But no, not quite. It was a mobile game of some sort that isn't even coming out in North America. There is some new lines and stuff of that nature, but yeah.
I see an escape room. Hunter announces escape room for 2021.
That is it.
That's not as fun as an anime.
That is it. Apparently some new lines, but that's it. So
not them still using their likeness to promote everything, but in anime.
It's crazy. Man. It's crazy. So it's not happening.
Listen, things happen in the world. Also this week, as we're doing this week is Pokemon Week.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I would hope one day. I mean, I would hope we'd get some monumental news, so we could rev up. We could dust off, the old.
Why do they do this, man? Like,
we could call up Pat. I know Pat's been just in his house, just been like
working out.
I don't watch anime. Oh, that too. Yeah,
he's been lifting,
working out.
Yeah, Pat's been lifting.
Definitely Aaron season 4 on his flow there, but
we need a little bit more.
Pokemon Week. We need something.
It's not Snap. Like, we can't come on there and talk about Pokemon Snap for an hour. But
nah, I refuse. Not that I refuse, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, we need a major announcement that consists of the primary franchise game that we all love.
Listen,
it's a remake. Let it be a remake. But please, just let us
do the job, Game Freak. Stop.
Stop playing, man.
I know y'all had your Nintendo Direct, and I know Pokemon is like, we don't do Nintendo Directs anymore. We have Pokemon Directs. We're a brand. We do multiple things. Post Malone, Katy Perry.
We didn't even talk about that, but like, we didn't talk about it because I didn't want to.
Let's save it for Pat.
Seriously, I don't even want to talk about this shit.
We got to, because I'm sure Pat has a great comment. So maybe there'll be a new episode of Mount Silver coming relatively soon, depending on whether Game Freak wants to supply us with some good stuff or not.
Right.
Are you ready for Titan Time?
Yeah, I am.
Titan Time. We're here. Episode, what is this? 11 of this? Episode 11. Damn, that's 5 crazy. More episodes left of this season. I'll be honest with you. After I watched this episode, I quickly scurried to the fandom page. I know what's going to happen in the next 5 episodes. I couldn't.
You just couldn't resist?
No, I couldn't, because it's a story that, like, this was one of those episodes, like, not a lot of monumental things happened.
It was a slow burner for sure.
But I know, in particularly from reading the manga, a lot of stuff were set up in this episode for stuff that's going to happen.
Gabi was out of control in this episode.
Listen, let's talk about Gabi for a second.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's talk about what are our thoughts on Gabi from this episode?
Are we past what happened? Like, emotions out of it?
No.
Look,
because she immediately murdered someone. Right? Okay. Starts off the episode with murdering someone else. So no.
Yeah, really, like, that's a crazy scene too. By the way, they did really good. Again, Mappas, but Gabi at this point, I see the character still evolving, developing. She's all anger at this point. Has no trust for really anybody. I do like her in this episode. I really do.
Do you? Wow.
I really do. Not necessarily like her. At this point, the character has been. I'll never have respect for the character off that episode, but I can see the development and what they're probably headed with when it comes to what they want to do with her in episodes to come. Like I said, I'm not caught up on the manga, but I can see that they're definitely trying to find a transition between her and Eren.
Perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is 100% Universe 6 Eren, or something along the lines of rather. Let's talk about it. We get into this part of the episode. I'm going to call it, the majority of this episode, I would say, is the Teen Titan Adventures of Ben and Mia.
Yeah.
The irony, the everything that kind of sort of happened there. So, I don't want to say Ben and Mia, Falco and Gabi escape from prison. Seemingly no one at this episode is like, hey, they've escaped. Should we go find them? No one is
important hostages.
No, I don't even. At this point, there may be so much stuff going on that no one has realized they have gone. I mean,
I can
think
see that.
it's because there was no sound the alarms. There was no get those kids.
What did
there
she
was no
do
security
with that
in
bag?
the
What was in that
distance.
bag? Bricks?
A brick.
Damn.
She beat the guy with a brick.
With a bag of bricks.
Just one brick. All that needs is
just one brick was in there.
You don't need multiple bricks to beat a person's brain.
Man. He was like, Gabby, that's overkill. Come on, bro. I was like, damn. He said overkill. I ain't never heard the word overkill in Attack on Titan. So you know it was bad. You know what she was doing was like extremely wild.
Oh my god, the lack of security around there. What if Eren had escaped? Like, what if anyone else in that prison had escaped? Like they just
saw two kids.
They just run and keep going. Either way, they run and they've been running all night and they make it to a force. Is it the force? Nah, it's not the force.
I don't think so.
But it's a force. And they escape and they're having this issue back and forth. It's like, yo, what are we gonna do? We just ran away from prison. How do we go from here? We're not going to swim back to Marley. That's just not going to happen.
Right.
So how do we deal with this? And you see I think in this episode, it's very much so more apparent, the most apparent of the differences between Falco and Gabi. And you know, people say like usually in pressure situations, you really can find out about a person or how they react. Gabi flying off the handle at any moment, ready to...
Yeah.
This is why I don't like it. She's ready to murk anyone.
I was about to say, she has no like home training at all. Like, at all. Like, and he's just trying not to get them caught up and in trouble. He's like, yo, just act. Like, just play this off. Chill. I know you don't want to be here. I know you don't want to eat with them. I know you don't want to talk to them. I know you don't want to believe in them.
Beans and fucking peas and
But he's like, yo, we have no choice. Like, we're going to get killed if we keep, messing with the wrong people. Let's just lay low and hope that this blows over and let's just get situated. They don't know who we are. That's all that matters.
Nah, but I think so here's the thing. I feel like there's multiple things. With Falco, he has the perspective of sitting with Eren and Reiner and hearing all that other crap about, yo, why you breaking my walls? You killed my family, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. His perspective is definitely more sincere.
Whereas Gabi's perspective is like, I've been trained to be the ultimate Marleyan under any circumstance. And I do it all for my country. You even see from the first episode, right? Like she puts herself on the line for Marley. And she's willing to do anything, absolutely anything, to pretty much get revenge on the Eldians and stuff like that, especially now that she's been captured. So they're having this thing in the forest. They're discovered by Kaya, who we have not the Kaya from like obviously My Neck, My Back or
what? Who are you, bro? Yo, if that was the only way, I can't believe you just said. That's how you know this is a black program. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a black program. That was brilliant.
The most reputable Kaya on earth.
That was brilliant.
One hit wonder, but hit sticks.
Yeah,
like grits. But so they're found in the forest by Kaya, who's just literally like, "Hey, what's up?" Like she's just chilling. I'm like, you're just chilling in the forest. She was like, "Hey, you guys hungry? You want to come back to my house?" And they explain themselves. It's like, "Yo, we're orphans who just ran away. We don't have reasons for why we did it. Just know that we ran away and we didn't like where we came from."
Okay, well, come over to the crib. I got food there. It's like,
yeah, let me ask my dad if he wants some beans, carrots, and I guess beef broth or whatever the hell they eat on this damn island. I don't know. Do they even have animals on that fucking island?
I don't see them too much. I don't know what they're eating. Like they're all vegan.
It looked like chunky chicken soup. Remember that football player that used to hawk that shit?
Of course.
I forgot the name of the shit. Either way, irrelevant. I was just really disgusted by the food.
It did look like slop. Yeah, it looked like pig food.
Would you have eaten it? Because I feel like if we had reached there, you'd have been like, "Oh, okay, all right."
We would have had to.
I would have been like, "Nah." I would have been like, "Yo, y'all got toast." Or something.
I've been like, Meelz, like we gotta just try this stuff, please.
I would have been wilding out personally because of the food, not because of like, the Marley.
If she came over and patted my head, I might have. You saw how Gabi was like, "Bitch, take your hand off me." She really like don't want nothing to do with nobody.
Get
like,
your filthy monkey hands off me. Something
she's
like
so
that.
torn up inside that she can't just let it go just to get somewhere better. You know what I'm saying?
The propaganda is real, right? Like this is
really
like
is.
It's like she's 100% in there, and then she's trying to like. You remember when she got there? She was like, "Yo, we're just gonna kidnap one of these horses and ride off." Like, ride off where? You're right on the island.
She was ready to kill that little girl. She was ready to kill Kaya. She literally grabbed a rock.
Oh, a rock! She grabbed a rock
just in case.
Like, rock this bitch real quick.
What is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong?
I'm about to rock her real quick.
She was like no threat at all. Like.
She just said, "Hey, how are you guys doing?"
She's like, crazy, bro. She's really got issues, dude. She's really got issues.
Absolutely. So of course they're taken in by this group of orphans, essentially. I mean, this family has taken in a bunch of orphans. Apparently, everyone who was affected by the attacks 4 years ago at the wall is an orphan there, and who've lost their parents, and so something of the rather, which includes Kaya, by the way. And as we learn throughout the story, but it's a tale of two worlds, because you really see Falco, especially when they get to that scene where well, first of all, I love the scene that they reveal that you're Marlians. Just like, yeah, I know. You guys said it wild out.
Come on, bro.
You guys said it out loud in the forest. Like, you think I wasn't listening the whole time? Like, you're in an empty forest out there screaming about like Marley and all this other stuff like that. But the thing is, it's like, because of the events that happened probably like even 3 or 4 years ago, they're not wilding out if a Marlian shows up. Plus, they don't even know the fact of like the identities of like Annie and Berto,
they don't,
and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But they know Niccolo, who's just like, yo, Marlian extraordinaire. That guy, he throws down every time. So they're not even tripping over any Marlians. So they were just like, yo, yeah, I know you're Marlian. But there's this exchange scene. It's really the final scene of the episode, where there's this exchange back and forth, and it's really like an ethics kind of conversation, maybe even philosophy.
Yeah, I can see some philosophy in there for sure.
And just in terms of like, where Gabby was like, you don't feel any guilt for the things your people did 1 million years ago to the entire world and destroyed races and smashed people. And Kaya's like, I just got here like 12 years ago.
Yeah, bro. What you want? How do I have an opinion on that right now?
Yeah, my mom is like, she might be 29, 30, something like that, but she didn't deserve any of it. Like, she didn't do anything. We've just been living here. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom she couldn't even move to run away from the Titans. So we've done nothing wrong. We want to know why this attack happened and why our lives were affected and stuff like that. And it really was like, it's legitimately like physically and metaphorically like putting the situation finally in Gabby's face and like forcing it in her face.
Right.
A situation that might have been presented in a lot more, while it was definitely a lot more, I would say, intense when it happened to Falco, it was a lot more mellow until Eren decided to tighten up and,
of course, turn up
and blow up the entire house.
Yeah.
But it was very much so brought to Gabi in an intense way, and it's like, yo, why were my parents killed? And she didn't really have an answer. She couldn't like, yo, I didn't, until Falco was like, yo, they came over 4 years ago. They were supposed to do this, supposed to do that, blah, blah, blah. And this was the whole thing. And I think everyone's kind of learning. This is the continued thing of season 4, the final season, that everyone's learning that beyond Marlians and Eldians and parody and all this other stuff, that at the end of the day, we're all people. And everyone has a different perspective on stuff like that. And ultimately, there's a big theme, I think, also in this season of like trying to stop the violence from continuing.
Right.
And I think that's kind of like what's happening here. It's like at least having this dialogue so people see what other people see, and this cycle doesn't really have to continue anymore.
Yeah, it is a strange like line of, I mean, it's not racism, but it is there's this weird line of like prejudice.
It's like racism, but they're like made up races.
Yeah, like exactly. Like they look
it's
the
definitely
same.
racism.
It is, but they all look the same, you know, physically, but it's down to like bloodline at this point. You know, it is a crazy story
like
that they're it's a weird story that they're trying to tell, but you see that it's real. And I think they use, you know, Gabi as kind of like that telescope of seeing how someone who really hates the situation, how they would react at all times. And she's just on, that's why she's on 10, you know, just constantly, just real Absolutely. Hate, you know. So I think it tells a good story. It is something that needed to happen. And like you said, I can see if this was meant to really set up a lot of things that happen in the future, in future episodes. I can definitely see.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, actually, this, I think, well, no, it definitely, it's everything is setting up in this episode, because I was about to head to another thing that I know is setting up in future episodes. Let's talk about Flock and them.
Talk about Flock and them.
Flock and them. Flock, traitor.
Yeah.
Who saw it coming?
Come on, man. Should have known. Easy. Light work.
Yeah. He wasn't even an original character. He was introduced in season 3. It was like,
so you already know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, capping real hard. Like, you're not even one of the original 6 or 7. You didn't even die. If you'd been introduced in season 1, you'd be dead by now. I just want you to know, Flock, the fact you're here itself is a miracle. By you just existing in season, you know, and managing to outlive Erwin for whatever reason.
Right.
So Flock and them, Flock has got a group of traitors, and these traitors leaked government information to the public. Now, are you against this? Or you feel like,
me?
You know, yeah, you know, leaking government information to the public so people know what's going on. So
hey man, everything doesn't need to be known. Okay, not everything, especially when it comes to like information.
Aaron and
like, them, yeah, like yo man, some of that stuff. Sometimes they're just trying to protect their people, like on a level of, hey, this stuff is so deep that if you knew about it, it would drive you crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Listen. I mean, the people have already been driven crazy because they want the freedom of their man, Aaron.
Aaron
Yeager.
He didn't do nothing. Like, you almost
didn't do nothing but save our lives.
Well, I mean, to be honest, his speech for Aaron, I mean, after he finished, I was like, well, that makes sense. I wasn't like totally against, you know, the stance he was taking. It was a pretty good stance.
Just like he was, but I mean, he's definitely advocating. He's on the side, it seems like, of Zeke and them. Which, I mean, if Aaron's on the side of Zeke and... Why I keep calling it and them? All right. Because we black. Zeke and them.
Zeke
and Aaron and them.
Even we don't have time to name
them. Yeah. Nah, we don't got time to name the whole team. But they're with that side, so they've been jailed immediately because Flock was just like, yo, Flock, we gave you sexy gear. We let you fly in the blimp. We let you drink all of our possibly spiked liquor, maybe. And you still traded us, you know? And so they're locking him away along with the other people in there. And then they also have some questions for your homegirl, Yelena.
I mean, that's fine. That's fine.
They got questions.
They can question Yelena if they want to.
My man Pixis over here. Wow, man.
Pixis.
Commander-in-Chief Pixis.
How can I trust him? Pixis.
Pixis sounds like a fucking a Metroid boss.
It does sound like a Metroid boss. Pixis.
He's got questions for Yelena. He's just like, yo, what's so funny about this Flock thing? He comes up to her like, yo, what's so funny about this Flock thing was that when we were at a party once, Flock had been commissioned to you because we had you guys detained, but you were able to come to this party, right? I don't even know why we let you into the party, but, you know, Survey Corps like you guys.
So we let you in. Yeah. Common sense.
You were able to party with us. But anyway, as we were really getting going with this party, you and Flock escorted you back to wherever the hell you were supposed to be going. And then suddenly, after that, Flock started just acting out on some wild stuff. But not only Flock was acting out, but Aaron was acting out too.
Aaron was wilding too, huh?
And what's crazy was you stay a couple of kilometers away from Aaron, Kilometers is a lot of things.
It
by the way.
is. It is.
It's a lot of meters.
I don't talk with kilometers ever.
I don't talk. I run a 5K.
You know, I'm about to say, you know, any Americans that speak in kilometers?
I speak in 5Ks.
I hear you.
If it's 5K, I run it.
Right.
But what's crazy is you stay a couple kilometers away. They're gonna have to fix that in dub. They stayed a couple blocks away.
Yeah, they need to say block. They need to say block.
A couple blocks away from Aaron. And then after that, Aaron started, you know, one leg overseas doing his thing. So that's just crazy how that all happened. And Yelena was like, what she look, I mean, to me, her entire body language was like, and
bruh, yeah, like, what the fuck are you talking to me for about this? Like,
yeah,
literally, you're right.
I don't even got rights.
Absolutely, her body language completely was just like, I don't even know what we're like. Why are you asking me anything about this situation? Like, no, this doesn't change anything.
Well, it's mainly because Yelena is top Zeke number one, Zeke fan number one, numero uno.
I gotta make sure
she bodied her own Marleyan compadres for the sake of Zeke and stuff cold. Like that. You know, so it is what it is. You
like the episode though? Good episode, no?
I like the episode.
Yeah,
I like the episode. I just know because it sets up so much.
Yeah, I figure, but I'm just saying in general. I think I'm not saying all the time. It works.
I'll say this: the Mikasa part of this episode where she talks to Homegrown, the prison, and then has that like flashback.
Yeah,
that sets up something. Pay attention to that.
To? Okay. I mean,
pay attention.
Even
to that.
Even seeing that part is, it has to mean something going forward. You know, like they always put stuff like that in for you to like a little callback later on. I'm
not telling you guys to go seek out spoilers if you're anime only, but I'm telling you, pay attention to that. That's gonna be something.
Anime only. That's a click.
That's a thing. That's a thing.
Anime only.
That's a
thing.
Wow. That's me in Jujutsu right now.
I know.
Get too soon. I know. I would be remiss if we didn't talk about the post-credit scene because we love a good post-credit scene.
Absolutely.
And the only thing I'm about to say about this post-credit scene is it's about to turn up again.
we don't get too many days off from this shit. Like,
nah. You get a couple cute things. Sasha eating lobster for the first time.
That's nice.
Niggas being found in the woods trying to steal horses and stuff like that.
Yo, can we real quick before you get to, dude? Gabi got her ass beat by that one horse. How come we didn't discuss that? Like, that horse beat her ass, bro.
Yo, I think animals got a good sense of like nature. They can find out the nature in a person. It's like she's a spaz. I was legitimately just trying to lick her head, and she's talking about these devil horses. Like, how
she ain't never seen a horse before.
Fuck, how you gonna be scared of the horse and try to steal the horse a couple minutes ago? How you gonna steal the horse, try to be, and then you afraid of the horse?
A horse put her head in a bucket, man. That shit was cold.
Like devil horses. So the final scene of this episode is we're back on Marley. Mm-hmm. The soldiers, whatever remaining of them. Commander, I forgot his name, Griff. I'm calling him Griff right now. I'm sure it's not. It's Grice. Maybe it's Grice. I'm gonna go with Grice. But just know it's the commander guy.
Yeah.
He's just like, yo, we've done the paperwork. We've done the body check, the autopsy. Zeke ain't there. We got arms, we got legs, but you can't determine if a person's dead by having their arms and legs. You need torso, or brain.
Yeah, not nowadays.
So Zeke ain't there. So we just gonna assume he a traitor. I mean, I'm just gonna assume that from right there, right now. It's the only thing that makes sense. He assumed it based off Peak's analyzation of Yelena and her fake beard a couple episodes ago. And they're like, okay, in 6 months, me and all these other fictional nations, we're gonna go right on parody.
He was like 6 months. They was like, we're gonna leave Gabi there and what's his face there for 6 months.
They got enough rocks over there for Gabi to chill out. Like,
ain't no way them kids survive.
Yeah, so he was like 6 months, nah. And Reiner, you know Reiner. Reiner having his own existential crisis
Pussy
just
boy.
a couple of episodes ago.
Pussy
Just like,
boy
nah, we
Reiner.
need a write out right now. And I'm like, wait, ain't
His
this how y'all
whole-
got?
He's scary. He really truly scary, man. He get in front of like authority and he tries to put his chest up, but then he get in front of Aaron.
Yeah.
Holding.
I was like, yeah, ain't this how y'all got folded last time? I mean, that's
Right.
specifically
Do you
what
not
the commander
remember?
said. It's like, isn't this how we got folded last time? And it was like, yo, if we let Zeke plot on this for too long, he gonna come up with an amazing plan. They might even be back. They might be back next week.
Might
We
be.
cannot wait. We gotta head over there now. So the plan is, it's part 2 of what's happening from season 1. We going back.
That's it.
You know, Electric Boogaloo, the Invasion of Parody Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. So we have that to look forward to. Sometime during the season, will it happen before this season thing cuts off and we get the second half of the season? I don't know.
Yes,
We'll see what happens.
You can kind of tell, I'm sure.
Does
it? Tell me.
No, I'm not going to tell you. This is Titan Time. We broadcast this to people who I'm sure only love the anime. But that's the end of Titan Time. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of other animes up next. Make sure you guys stay subscribed to The Lookout. And yeah, we'll be back.
Yeah.
And we are back.
Hey.
Okay. So for the last 3 weeks, we've talked about 3 different animes.
We have.
Which one would you rather talk about first? Jujutsu, Dr. Stone, or The Promised Neverland?
I mean, Dr. Stone.
Dr. Stone. Okay.
Dr. Stone.
Okay. So we're here. It's episode 30.
Good
Dr.
time
Stone.
with Dr. Stone right now.
We got the Chrome episode.
Yeah, and
The
it's
Chrome-
a really good episode, and it's funny. It's like really funny. It's
a
really funny episode.
It's an episode that makes me realize, man, this would be the series if like Senku like wasn't a dick. Like if he wasn't like kind of an ass.
Every time you
like,
want
kind of pompous
Senku to show any like emotion, he turns around and does some like sneak shit.
Yeah, he's like tears. Who are that for? Nitroglycerin coming from my
yeah,
eyes.
Yeah. It's like, come on, dude. The moment's ruined. Fuck.
I would cry if I knew how to cry. I'm leaving that stuff up for the girls. That's his whole shtick.
Like, right. He's so cool looking. You want him to be like, you know, they wanted to take it to that level.
Got great hair. Just got great hair.
He does have great hair.
Anyway, the Chrome episode. So Chrome has been locked up for the past number of episodes when he got caught by Tsukasa and them. So Tsukasa, a couple episodes ago, was it last episode or something along those lines? Anyway, random.
Yeah, I think it was 2.
Previous episode ago, captured Chrome, tried to get some signed secrets out of him. Chrome feigned ignorant. They try to throw him off the cliff. Then they realize they probably shouldn't kill Chrome, so they save Chrome and just throw him in jail.
Yeah.
And then I think the episode after that, right, they try to develop a car. And then they do, and then they make it a better car. So boom. Or a tank, or whatever the hell it is. So this episode, we get Chrome, and Chrome's not waiting to be saved. Chrome's like, yo, I can use science somehow. Let me grab some, and in the most unrealistic way, let me grab some twigs, sorrow, like
whatever it takes.
You know, things, etc., etc.
He went out to take a piss, and he just grabbed a bunch of shit.
Yeah, he's like, oh, let me. He's like, yo, what do I got here? Twigs, berries, rocks. A rock could really break through this thing if I try. I wouldn't be able to.
Everything he can. What would Senku do?
What would Senku do? And then they realize it's like, oh, someone throws him in a battery. Did they think?
Yeah, it was
bow and arrow guy.
No, it was Senku's homie and his girl. They gave him the battery, I thought.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm tripping.
Maybe. I don't think they revealed it. I think the battery just ends up in there. I could be wrong.
He just had maybe he just realized he had the battery in his pocket the whole time.
Nah. Someone definitely threw it in there. I just think they didn't reveal who it did. But someone definitely threw that battery in there. So they throw the battery in there. and he's got all these plans. Oh, we're gonna do this. They're laughing at him. They're like, "Yo, you don't even know how to break out. Like, take your stupid science
He
somewhere
didn't want to play
else."
stupid either. It was so hard for him to play dumb today.
Mm,
He was like,
mm,
I want to tell him I got
I
a
feel
fucking
him.
battery so bad. He wanted to tell him so bad, bro. He's just like, I can't do it. And then the dude is a cop, man. This is a really this is a Blue Lives Matter episode.
Listen,
you know, because they make him
Chrome
look
just
strong,
went up.
bro.
Well, Chrome outthwarts a cop.
He does. Which we all.
How
can.
strong is he coming in this episode?
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
So anyway, he uses the battery. He also sweats a lot, which I wouldn't know how to do.
That
That's
part
a lot
was
of burpees.
so funny, dude. Because when he was like, I gotta make salt water, and I was like, what the hell's he? Me and my girl were watching this shit like cracking up because that whole scene is just so funny. Like working out, squeezing his shirt into a cup. You know, I thought he was about to take a piss at first when he was like, I gotta make some type of liquid.
So he makes the salt water. He puts the batteries in it. Something along the lines makes the water able to, I guess, weaken the bamboo strands, which in turn knocks over. He able to punch his way out of jail. He out here swinging on people. He's pole vaulting.
It's so crazy how we have to like minimalize what he actually did to get out of there. Because like I can tell you were trying your hardest to explain what the fuck he did with that battery in the salt water, and it's like
I'm not a scientist, man.
Yeah, dude. Like even when they're explaining it, I'm just like, it's comical. That part in general, like the explaining of it, is even comical to me. Like it's almost parody. Like there's no way I'm gonna remember any of this. It's interesting and it's cool, but like
just people who are Dr. Stone stands, they're gonna remember this. That's who they matter for.
Sure.
I like the show.
I love the show. I think it's
if someone quizzed me on what are the ingredients he used to make to get out of this,
I'm not quite there yet.
No, we're just not. Chemistry was a long time ago. I only had chemistry once in life, by the way.
Same. We're right there. I didn't choose to, meaning like, it wasn't college. Like
it wasn't college for me.
Yeah, I had to do it.
It was we ended up getting curved at the end. I got a B+ based on the curve of the class.
Well, I definitely didn't get a B+, buddy. I'll tell you that much. Senku has no need for me in this new world.
No. But you know what? I'm sure they'll find. Everyone needs a handsome friend. You know what I'm saying?
This is true. This is true.
So anyway, he able to defeat Yo in a battle of brains, but uses the berries that he had to make it feel like he's got pneumonia or something.
Yeah, basically, it was just trying to pretend like he was sick. And then, is pneumonia even like? Can you even spread that?
Yes, you absolutely can. I feel like you can. I feel like you definitely can.
I was shocked. I was believing him. Like I was like, damn, Chrome really fucked up right now. Like
that was a triggering part because in this day and age, anyone spitting in my face, any types of particles in my face.
The scene where he literally like, that's all I thought about was, damn, he just gave that man COVID. I said it out loud, bro. Like it's just so funny, but it was a disgusting scene.
We would have had to beat his ass.
Absolutely.
With that said, Chrome free. He meets up with his peoples. They're like, "Oh my god, Chrome, you're free. How did he even find us?" He's like, "Oh my god, I just followed the way that she went 3 episodes ago. That one time." And
I remembered, and y'all can't.
And what was the best area that someone would be able to look through a telescope? I was like, y'all thinking just in 4K? Because me, I would just walked anywhere. I was like, I hope I find them.
Whatever works.
Let me find water first or something. Wash my ass from all this sweating. But great episode of Dr. Stone this week. I implore you, if you like Dr. Stone the series, or if you're even interested, start it up. It's really good. This episode is just top notch. If you're a Chrome fan, which Chrome was nominated in our best.
He was.
I think it was our best over to Senku, by the way. That's the level of petty that we have on our roster. But you know what? This episode was like, you know what? He might be the one.
I think this is one of the best of the season so far, honestly. I know there wasn't like anything major per se, but I thought it was just really comical. It's funny. Chrome gets his moment. I like when he got back and him and Senku kind of shared a moment as well. He was so proud of him, but didn't want to like say how proud he was, So yeah, it was a really cool episode.
He's like, yo, you smart. Not smarter than me, but
Yeah.
You could be a Dr. Stone too one day. Maybe Dr. Stone GX or something, and it'll be about you.
Dr. Stone GX. Do not put
it
that in
kind
the
of
air.
reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh. No, don't do that.
Oddly, I see the vibe you're going with this, but yeah.
I see it too.
I actually do see it.
Let's go to the Promised Neverland, episode 6, the long-awaited episode 6.
So what's going on, Meelz? Like,
okay,
I don't even look.
Have you read the manga?
No, check this out. So it's so funny you say that. I was, you can Twitter search anything and find out anything in the entire world. So sometimes I'll just type in like Hunter x Hunter and just see if somebody says anything. Kind of same situation here. And I see the pictures.
Hunter fans, I love you guys.
Right?
Let me type it in to see if this
just to see what's going on. Like anybody feel the same way I do. So so Promised Neverland. I saw a manga page of like 4 or 5 badass like fucking characters, like and I was like, damn, these things look tight. Ashley said the same thing, bro. Like we both looked at it like, yo, this is incredible. Like they look awesome. And then we watched the episode,
and they look wild derpy.
Like, who the fuck are these guys? Like they're not even they've been changed dramatically. And if you look at them, you can
older friends.
Yeah, they don't look terrifying. They don't look gritty. They don't look like no intensity. Like they just took it. They just pulled it all out. What happened, man? What happened?
Okay,
what's going on, Meelz?
So let's parlay the story a little bit.
Is the anime getting ruined right now?
So the anime actually, I would say this episode, it kind of got back on course, and you can really tell the direction that they're actually going, because kind of pretty much everything that happened in this episode happens in the anime. It's just situational, which difference. And then it also, because of the taking out of the Goldie Pond arc, lost a lot of intensity and a whole bunch of other stuff like that. And then also they kind of, knocked out the part where Norman looks considerably older because of all the experiments that were put on him.
I did want to talk about that, but
because now he's just a kid who hangs out with some.
So basically, kids. Those experiments never happened. That's why he basically looks right to Norman. Yeah, that's why he kind of just is still Norman.
Yeah. But this entire episode, so in this episode, wow, the difference is really situational, because I mean, actually there's a major difference in the show. The fact that Norman's home isn't so. Damn, do you care if I spoil the manga right now?
No.
Okay, people, do you care if I spoil the manga right now? Press 4 if you care. And if you don't, just skip forward to the Jujutsu Kaisen part. But so when they find Norman at his crib, and it's not this like lowly crib that we see here that has no lights on.
What, he's like a real crib?
Oh, it's like some Swiss Family Robinson looking
like shit. Lavish shit. I mean, they look at him like the way they even spoke about him was such high regards.
So they invite, when they find it in the manga, they invite all the kids back, and they're like, "Oh, make sure you wash them up and get them food and all this other stuff, and like their beds upstairs and all this other shit like that." Like it's a whole setup. The thing is that with this episode, a lot of things were rushed, but it's clear the direction I was going. And this episode is clearly like, okay, we learned how Norman isn't dead. And they really gloss over that, because there's a couple panels that show you really about how Norman was treated in the lab, but they gloss the fuck over that. They're like, yo, I'll just transfer to another lab.
That's all I said. That's all that happened there.
Yeah, that's all that happened. They're transferred to, and it's technically the Lambda one is an experimental lab where they take a lot of these prime students, they transfer them over there to do experiments on them to figure out how they can manufacture better kids.
Right.
So, but they also don't show you the factory of the manufactured kids. But overall, this episode is a reunion, but it's a clash of ideals, because Norman is like, we're killing all these demons. Like, boy,
yeah, his energy was different, bro.
Yeah, but it wasn't. The thing is, in the manga, it's a little bit more sinister.
I figure much just looking at some of these pages. Like you mean his attitude?
not completely sinister, but it's clearly like I'm using my advantage. He's the smartest one out the group. Norman is.
Of course.
So he's clearly using his brains to his advantage, and he's like cutting deals with people and all this other stuff like that. It's a little bit more sinister in the way that they do it. Here, it's kind of like, and this is how we're going to, make a better world for us. And it takes a lot of the bite out of it. But overall, he's like, okay, we're going to use this to kill all the demons. Just from his unveiling of the plan and what wasn't unveiled in the plan, I know what's going to be left out in a couple of episodes, which is a lot.
So you think this is still going to cause them to get rid of some things, regardless, just because of how the story was moved?
Oh yeah, they completely mixed out a major part where they. Well, it's because of the Goldie Pond part.
Yeah, but I'm saying, is this really just, and this is just anime fan, manga fan, Promised Neverland fan, whatever you want to call it. Is this truly a problem for the legacy of the Promised Neverland? Do you think? You think it truly is a problem?
The manga will always be known as being a great story. If anything, it boosts up the manga. It'll boost up sales because people will be like, yo, read this shit. Don't watch that shit.
So check this out.
Read this for sure.
This is a crazy. I hear what you're saying. It reminds me of the Full Metal situation, where the original Full Metal Alchemist anime didn't necessarily follow the manga properly, which is how we got Brotherhood, which is obviously considered it's so top tier, one of the best, maybe the best. And it's like, man, I could see down the line, maybe 5-10 years from now, we see some message about the Promised Neverland coming back. Just the completely
I think it'll
mock
definitely
the
happen
manga.
Sooner than that. It'll happen way sooner than that.
It's crazy. It's crazy. No, I absolutely. Like I'm totally with you, because when you have something like this, especially, I feel like anime is so fan driven that even the authors and the creators themselves, they listen to that type of process and those things that happen, which I think, again, I'm kind of getting off balance, but Hunter x Hunter, another perfect situation. Togashi has refused to say anything about it being over, or like it's clearly not done, and they have not stopped. I think there's just things that have to get done the right way, and if they're deciding to go about this in a way of, hey, we're changing the entire anime up a little bit, a little bit more light to it, I guess. I don't think it's as dark as I had anticipated, especially what you tell me about the manga. And
it's not as dark at all.
They're gonna have to fix this at some point. Maybe even if it's with a different, animation company. Maybe fucking Mappa picks it up or something crazy. I don't know. Yeah. But in general, it's gonna happen, right?
Oh yeah, it has to, absolutely, because a lot of, I think the most part that's been extracted out of this episode was the tone, and
because season 1 had that tone, bro.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It had
it. And they try to recapture it at the end of this episode when they kind of reveal, it's like, oh yeah, Sonju and blah blah, what's his name? I forgot his name. Are alive, and they don't need to eat humans to live. And Norman's like, they don't need to eat humans to live. I can't wait. Where did you find them? So they try to recapture that with a little cliffhanger thing at the end, but it doesn't hold the same weight.
I did like that very end.
I liked
it
too.
Norman in like a creepy way at the end. I think what he called her, like a blood something, evil blooded girl,
because
or whatever.
It gets in the way of his plans. But I'm interested in kind of the way they're going to do it. I'm still trying to think of it. I mean, yes, the manga takes full precedence in my brain when they go through things, but I'm still trying to understand this as a different story. But I'm wondering, because the end is going to be completely different. I'm just letting you know now. The end is going to be completely different. There's no way. They have not introduced a lot of characters that end up in the end.
Maybe I really should start just reading the manga.
Except Mom. Mom is definitely in the end. But they haven't really reintroduced. They kind of left her on the cutting room floor. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is going on here? With that said, a lot of things happen in Promised Neverland. I think it's a more so clash of ideals. Emma is, at the end of the day, wants to preserve the demons because they feel like they.
I'm about to say Emma had the cap. Well, she had the cap to Norman.
And Norman's like, "No, we got to kill all of them. Like to be able to live freely and in this world, because we can't cross to the other world.
The kids' reactions. All right, fuck these demons. Let's go. Emma's like, let's go. Yeah, sure. This is exactly what I want.
And you have his group of peoples, especially what's her name, Barbara, who's eating the demon. He's like, yo, they eat us. Why can't I eat them? I was like, that's not how that works.
Yeah, dude. What the fuck?
I'm pretty sure they taste disgusting.
Y'all are living wild.
So Norman's group, they're in the end, but we'll see how this kind of evolves from here.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that there's going to be a major battle towards the end of this series, but it's currently not being painted as the final battle that happens in the manga right now. But we're halfway through the season. There is a whole nother 6 episodes. Anything can happen at this point, is all I'll say about the Promised Neverland. And that's all I'll say. We should head to Jujutsu Kaisen, episode 19.
The finale? Our finale for this episode is what I mean.
Yes, our finale of this episode.
Like Flash. You feel me? It's my favorite shit out, man.
Listen, lots of comparisons
to
another episode out, 19. Another episode 19.
Yeah.
Of Demon Slayer.
Yeah, it was like the comparison was. I wish I didn't see that.
Is it number alone, or is it?
I think it's more the number than anything. Although this episode was brilliant, I would say. I thought it was. It was done really well. Not that the rest of them haven't. It's kind of hard to rate it when it comes to the other episodes because they didn't necessarily do anything different per se. But the battle, just the animation was flawless. We see it week after week with this show, over and over again. It's time somebody has to just say it. Like, I know Attack on Titan is obviously it's season 4. It's the final season. Everyone's obviously drooling over it. But this shit right here is, there's nothing else like this from like what the story that they're telling. And I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, it's so deep. It's so deep.
A lot of comparisons came just because episode 19, I think, was the game-changing episode for Demon Slayer. I think it was. I'm assuming it was the episode that made you tell me I need to watch this.
That was it. I'll never forget. I'll never forget, bro. Because I was just like, yo, you have to see what the fuck is happening in Demon Slayer. Like, that
and you can argue, because I think you owe a lot of popularity of Demon Slayer to that episode 19. You could argue that episode 19 made them into a multi-million-dollar box office breaking bunch of things.
I think
in
so.
That series.
I think so. I do think that was a groundbreaking kind of moment. That was like the switch at that moment. And you say, damn, 19 episodes in the first season. It's like, yeah, but at that point you're super familiar with anybody who's a main character and the stories that's been involved. I think 19 is probably a good time to really do something major like that. And just
look at episode 19 of Dr. Stone and see what happened there.
I know, right?
No, but episode 19, I can't compare it in that sort of way to Jujutsu Kaisen, but I'll say a lot of things clicked in this episode that I think have not truly clicked before. And I think it was the prominence of Yuji just being that guy.
Yeah.
And you got the idea. You always knew that what's my man's name? From Demon Slayer. Why am I forgetting his name? Tanjiro. Tanjiro was that guy. But episode 19 was like, oh, it's like he's the chosen one. I think this episode showed that as well, but for Yuji. Because Yuji, as they continue to unveil the villain curse spirit Hanami, he has a major moment in this episode, and it's truly the growth of it. And just what are your favorite moments? What are your overarching thoughts on this episode?
My favorite moment, man, I love curse speech. I thought it was just it's a cool way to kind of keep the story going without minimalizing how strong the opponent is. And in retrospect to the actual move, Maki, he can't continuously use it. So it is overpowered. Like, it's OP, but it also
Yeah.
forces his throat to fuck up and bleed and all this. But it made the story connect, in my opinion. I know it's kind of small, but him telling everyone else to run when Hanami was chasing him, it lengthens everything that needs to happen to make this episode work. So I think I think it's an awesome story that they're telling, just individually, which every character needs to have, even right in the beginning, with Megumi fighting. It's just
right.
It's perfect placing, man. It's perfect.
You had Megumi, you had Maki, who introduced into the fight as well, and just you even had, I forgot her name, Homegrown, the Broom. I guess the Broom woke up, but all those, introducing them, and they're super strong, right? So we've learned from these past maybe like 11 episodes of their training, and especially over the last like 4 episodes of this Goodwill event, that they're incredibly strong. So when we see Yuji and Toto show up and they're able to kind of take on Hanami where those other ones have failed, you kind of get to see for the first time how much on a different level that Yuji is compared to everybody else.
Yeah, Yuji is on a whole
growth and development of Yuji as a fighter.
Yeah.
From, you look at episode 1 where he didn't even know what was going on, and he was just like, and then even like, I think it's maybe like episode 5 or 6 where he's kind of trying to depend on Sukuna for like, yo, come out so we can beat this guy. Yeah. Come out so I don't die and stuff like that.
He tried to do it on more than one occasion. I think it definitely shows the growth. Like, he was extremely confident in this episode, which he kind of lost track of after Junpei's death. I think he lost a little bit of confidence, but at the same time, he gained some in some way, because he realized how cold this shit really is. Like, I don't think he, I think he really didn't get to lose, like, him when he lost that situation on Junpei and having to realize that the manipulated, curses are humans, and he has to go out and do this job and kill people. I think that's when he really just took it to a new level, and he just blanked out, like, hey, this is what I have to do now. There's nothing else. There's no way around it. People are going to die. And now I just feel he's more confident.
Right. A lot of the building blocks for a lot of things that happen in prior arcs built up to this moment right here. And then you also see, I think, which is one thing, the relationship between Yuji and Toto is it's very unmatched between two major characters in the series. You don't see that kind of unison relationship, respect, dialogue. The fact that Toto is able to slap Yuji and be like, yo, don't depend on your anger completely for this. Usually, because that's what a lot of antagonists do. Anger, blow up, start fighting people, end up making a mistake.
He's OP in himself. I mean, he's incredible. Right. We're about to see, I think this next episode, I think 20, you'll get to really see what he can do.
Absolutely, because they cut it off right there.
Absolutely, yeah. And obviously, the Black Flash, just really great animation. I think they don't play any games when they're trying to make a debut of something, of anything. I mean, when we watched Goyo's debut, it was a big episode, obviously, something major. So they don't play no games with this. I saw when the episode was named just that, I was like, okay, we're getting it. I see how this episode 19 is supposed to, stand up to what everyone says it is. So,
right.
Yeah, they do a hell of a job, man.
And the reveal of Hanami's second arm, I was just like, okay.
Yeah, she's on some other shit too, man.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sold. There you go.
Great antagonist, in my opinion, because you kind of, I like the character. Like, I don't,
and not like the ultimate one. Obviously, it's kind of like a starter, antagonist. I feel like
absolutely, it is to an extent, but she's still very, very strong, and her personality isn't as like brutal and murderous as the rest of them. We get that kind of touch of, hey, I'm actually she reminisced about a conversation she had with Mahito, and she had realized, wait, is this it? I'm actually having fun right now, doing this. Like, her growth in itself is crazy. So man, they're hitting on all cylinders. When you start liking antagonists and protagonists kind of the same way, it's kind of how you know what's going on.
Absolutely. And Mappa just deserves all the praise because of this is stuff you don't get in a normal episode of anime. Like, I don't even know if we realize that. Like, the standard has completely changed.
When they were like running on the roots.
Yeah.
Oh man, like,
absolutely.
What are we looking at? Like,
the choreography, just them in midair falling and deciding to push off one another to be able to, thing.
It's movie stuff. Like that was like anime film type scenes.
Yeah. And we're just getting it and just like, oh, it's episode 19. But we've talked about that the entire season from Jujutsu Kaisen. Just moments like this that are just kind of like, okay, they're having this moment. Wow, that looks incredible. From the dimensional, the domains to just the regular fight scenes and stuff like that, to the choreography, to the dialogue between them. It's just it's different. It's different. This is still the introductory, but you can see the glimpses of like, okay, this is great. This is great.
It just is. Yeah, I still can't believe we have the opportunity to talk about like this many good anime at the same time as they're running on a week-to-week basis, new episodes every week, new chapters every week. I mean, it feels like it really is a golden age. We're there for sure, and if anything, that just means there's a lot of stuff to come. I mean, shit, man. Talk about Spy Family and things of that nature. Chainsaw Man. Like, there's still so many things to come that we have not seen animated that are just going to be brilliant. And I think Jujutsu is just doing a hell of a job leading the way. I really do.
I agree. I would say, you know what? Let's wrap it up there. We can wrap it up here in terms of everything that we had in this episode. There's a lot of, like you said, a lot of great anime out here that's just worth diving into, and we suggest you dive into it. One thing we suggest you guys dive into, My Hero Academia season 4. I know it's been a while.
It has been a while. I haven't watched it in a while purposely.
Have I watched it? Probably.
Have you been watching it?
Watch it.
I turned it on randomly the other day.
Watched
like one episode.
Maybe, I feel like. And that was because, you know what? When we were going over season 3, I just continued watching. I'm pretty sure that was it.
No, I think I did too then. That was probably the last time I checked it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was sometime late last year. That was before we got into Frieza and them. But we're going back to season 4 of My Hero Academia to get prepared for season 5 of My Hero Academia, which premieres at the end of this month, at the end of March, rather, at the end of this month. So we're going to start that soon. Hopefully we can grab some guests, some people to talk about it. Just have a really good time with all this stuff. So next week, we'll be starting My Hero Academia season 4. No worries about Titan Time. Titan Time will still be here unless the Titans are not here. Then I guess we'll, I don't know, do a Juju stroll or something. I don't know. Or something. But something rather, so you have that to look forward to. And you can always stay subscribed to the Lookout RNC. You can subscribe to the Lookout on RNC Radio on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, Amazon Podcasts. We're on YouTube as well, where you can get Titan Time early. Every Monday before it comes out on the episode, before the full episode comes out, you'll at least get Titan Time on Monday on our YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe to that as well. You can follow us on Twitter at the Lookout RNC, AV. And you know what? Just follow us and you can talk anime with us and stuff like that. If you're like, if you need to throw any Hunter x Hunter information at Jeff, you can definitely do that.
If you have any, please. I think I'm gonna write Togashi a letter or something. I need an address, or
I'm sure we can find one.
Jamal told me he thinks he knows English. He was like, I'm almost for certain he knows English, Jeff. So write him a letter. I was like, all right. He's probably right. I mean, he's an OG.
Let's put some good vibes in the universe. Diamond and Pearl remakes.
Please, Diamond and Pearl remakes. Love it. I would love to play Diamond and Pearl on the Switch.
Not Let's Go Silver. Not Let's Go Gold.
Please don't give me a Let's Go Silver Gold. I'd be heartbroken over that. I might not even buy it. And you know me. I just go for it when it comes to Pokemon. I don't know if I'd do it.
Listen, it would be the angriest episode of Mount Silver ever.
It really
might be the last one.
It really would be super aggressive. Next week, watch out. Me and Meelz are going to be talking about I'm a Spider, So What? Every episode in one episode of The Lookout.
Should I watch it?
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna make you watch that show, dude.
I'm already watching One Piece.
If you're like an episode. You're at home chilling and you just want to turn it on, just watch one.
What episode of One Piece am I on? Let me look
I
at
think it's
Netflix.
15 or 16. It's weird watching something so classic on Netflix all the way through.
Listen, I'm on episode. Where the fuck am I? What does it say? All right, I'll have to click it then. 81. So 81. What I've been doing, I feel like I'm not on 81, but
I must say you're in there. Then you're too late to turn around.
Netflix has 1.25 speed. So sometimes I watch it on that. Sometimes I have it rock, and I
didn't consider doing that.
Yeah, I just turn up the speed. Sure, they talk a little bit faster, but guess what? They're still saying the same shit. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not talking too fast. Your brain just moving too slow. Is
sound like some Lil Wayne bar.
I feel like it was 50 said something like 50 that. I feel like 50 said it. Something like I'm talking too fast. Damn. All right.
Oh, Pimp.
Let's wrap up.
Yeah.
There you go. This is why we're here.
I'm a spider. So what?
We'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys for tuning in to The Lookout. Yeah, and we're out.